Hello everyone, and welcome back to the end of the month garden collaboration. I'm Lisa Ann Spencer. If you're interested in catching up with what's happening in the garden in August, then stay tuned. So I'm sitting here in my little 1970s lawn rocking chair in my barn because I wanted to sit in the shade, and my swing is under the lean-to right now, and it's kind of dark. Of course, it's kind of dark in here, so I don't know what difference it would make. But anyway, today's Friday, August, looking at the calendar, 29th. I'm getting ready to go to market, farmer's market this afternoon. I sell some of my produce and some other things at market, and I usually do a Saturday morning market as well, but this week I have other things to do, and I have very little produce to sell. So last month I was really down and out, which happens every July, August because it is so hot. No matter what you do, the plants seem to die and the grass just thrives. This is why I want to go into dairy farming, because I can grow grass and then I can convert that grass into some milk and meat. So I am working toward that goal, but that's another story for another day. But the garden is looking so much better. I have to talk to myself every year when it gets that hot and the grass gets overwhelming, and tell myself, look, cool weather is coming. And when the weather cools off, you will be able to do, I always say, the work of 10 Grinches plus 2. I can certainly work longer and harder when the weather is cool. So it has cooled off 10 to 15, perhaps even 20 degrees, especially late in the evening, and it's just been a pleasure to work outside. Things are looking better. Of course, the summer produce is waning, and I'm just getting started with the fall produce, but I'm going to show you all that as we walk around. But I also want to show you, this is really for Maria at the Richardson Simple Living, who is one of the hostesses of this gardening collaboration. So be sure to check out her link below, and also to that of Victoria at Home Educating the Mad Lads. We've been doing this garden collaboration together for several years. But Maria had asked me to maybe make a video on prepping for market. Well, I said I just can't do that because I'm so busy. But because things have slowed down a little bit, I am fully prepped for market right now. So in part of the garden tour this month, I will go in the house and in my van and show how I am set up for headed to the market this evening. So, all right, stay tuned. Let's turn the camera around and take a tour. So first of all, I'm just gonna take a brief look in the barn. I do have some little fall greens, collards. My kale is just starting to pop up. I've got broccoli, so that's a promise of good things to come. I've got here Swiss chard, so those are looking good. This is an industrial refrigerator that I got for free, and it is so wonderful. We cleaned it up and bought a new gasket, and in here I do keep my produce as I harvest it. It's all wrapped up right now. I've got 2 different varieties of green beans, got some pickled jalapenos. Oop, I left my cucumbers and some things inside. I need to go get those, and sweet peppers. And of course I have this regular refrigerator, but what happens, and it's mostly empty. It's empty because, well, there's a couple dozen eggs and some drinks. Usually I will keep my washed greens here, my Swiss chard and my kale, but I don't have any this week. Down there is sawdust. That's where I keep some of my beets packed. That keeps them really well. The freezer's empty other than ice packs and blankets. So these bags here, I usually fill them up with produce. I've got customers that pay me in advance and I fill those up, keep them in the refrigerator. Got my coolers ready. I'll just grab those when it's time to go, fill them up with the ice packs. So anyway, that's a little bit of market prep. I also bring my cut herbs and cut flowers in here, my little workbench. I'll go around and harvest. I'll show you that when we get in the house because I've moved everything in there where it is cool. So my potted plants are still going. Still no, oh, I was gonna say still no blooms, but look it. You get to be the first witness. There is a bloom on this morning glory. It's already faded, of course, because it's afternoon. And a couple of other morning glories did start, but that's the first bloom for this one. I've got some beautiful blue spice basil here. There's a humblebee, big bee, enjoying it. There's so many pollinators, little butterflies and things everywhere. Here's my swing under the lean-to. Nothing much to see here. Here's a volunteer tomato, and it's looking so healthy. And I do see some green tomatoes. Looks like a little cherry. That's great, I'll take it. Hyacinth bean. Very pretty little flowers. Don't know if that's focusing. This morning glory is yet to bloom. My daughter's flowers, hers is just a variety pack. Cosmos, sunflowers, bachelor's buttons. The cosmos is looking really, really pretty. And I do come and cut flowers from here and from my other gardens and from the fields to sell a couple of bouquets of cut flowers at market. So let's see. Oh, I see bees on the blue spice basil. Honeybee. There's a honeybee. Not sure if you can see that. And there's a big bumblebee. It's such a wonderful time of year for the pollinators. So this is a jalapeno that I grew for my daughter. It's called a nata-pino, and she harvested it yesterday, and she makes herself peppers, pickled peppers for nachos, but hers have no heat, so I grew those for her. She doesn't like hot and spicy. I've got a dill and another pepper, and this one's dying. That dill is looking good. I sowed here 2 rows of, this is a row of rutabagas, Swedes, I think maybe you call them. You see they're germinating. So I don't know I think they'll have enough time to produce by Thanksgiving. And then this is a little row of carrots. And they are germinating nicely. Got a double row. One row didn't do so good. One row did. So this is where my Brussels and my cabbage was last month. I just pulled those out. I did harvest some cabbage, but most of it went to the chickens or compost. And this is what's left of my kale. Very pitiful, but it actually is making a comeback. My shadow keeps getting in the way. I finally found a solution to the bug problem, and it is the homemade soap spray. So 4 tablespoons of dish soap in a gallon of water with a little bit of oil. I put a little neem oil in it, and that did the trick. So this is just a pumpkin that I have recently put in there to replace the one that died. Don't know if it'll have time to do anything, but it looks pretty there. My cucumbers are coming along nicely, and I harvested those. Now I see them wilting, and that is probably just because it's hot, although there is a little bug. that makes an appearance on cucumbers called a cucumber beetle, and when it bites into the plant to suck the liquid out, it transmits a disease. So I hope that's not what it is. Here's my basil. It got such a late start, it's not as glorious as it usually is this time of year, but it is growing and I'm harvesting. I sell fresh herbs at the market. I also dry what doesn't sell and sell dried herbs. My row of Swiss chard, these were all transplants from the other garden. Some bigger than others, but they are, they're hanging in there. If we get a good rain and the cooler temperatures come back, they'll do well. This is green beans. I harvested them, got about, 4 pounds maybe off of that little section there. This is where the old butternut squash row was, and I have planted my heirloom cowpea, the T.E. Martin cowpea. So these are looking really good. I've got 2 rows here. And then my okra. The okra is growing very well. I came along and mulched everything with spoiled hay. Look, there's a watermelon vine. I planted a couple of watermelons over here. They do like to grow in the shade of the okra. And I saw a baby melon yesterday. So it is quite possible that I might get an actual watermelon from this one. I don't remember where it was. Anyway, oh, I do. Here it is, right here. Look at there. Let's see, can you see the little baby watermelon? Oh my goodness, it makes me so excited. Oh, there's a spider web right above me. Not sure if you can see that. It's thick. This is they're not runner beans, but they are pole beans. They're called rattlesnake. And I have gotten a large harvest off of it every week. I'll be selling those at market tonight. They still have lots of blooms, and earlier today the bees were all over them. There's one right there. They have the pretty purple stripes on them, and they're very meaty and delicious. I got this area weeded, which was completely overtaken. And my butter beans, they have blooms. I've been harvesting seeds from them, but they are so shaded in the morning that they just do not like it here. But I'm getting enough seeds that I'll have them to replant another time in a better location. Got a few pepper plants here. I've had some real pretty bells, but I'm not harvesting. Look, that's a spider. Sorry, spider. I thought it was a stink bug. I don't like to kill the spiders, but I hate the stink bugs. So behind me here was where I had my first 2 rows of green beans and beets. So I have planted like 4 rows of corn. Old seed. I'm not sure they're going to do anything, but I wanted to give it a try. They were like 9 years old, and an older gentleman in Georgia had given them to me, so I want to give them a chance while I had space. My peppers are doing quite nice. This is the little buckshot pepper, and you can see this time that they're getting right. They're little tiny round things, and they are hot as a 6-shooter, and they are very, very flavorful. So I pickle those, and then I dry those and crush them and make flakes. This is cayenne, and I'm just going to start leaving these to let them ripen. More bell peppers, and this one's my chocolate bell, so I'm going to stop picking these and let them ripen. I've got jalapenos here. I've already picked some. These are little, what's left. I picked the big ones. My Jimmy Nardello sweet pepper, I've picked all the red ones off of it. These eggplants never did anything. I've tried to give them a little more attention, but they're not going to do anything. This one is making a few small ones every now and then. Look at this pretty purple. They're really delicious. That one got damaged at sea, but it'll still be good. And there's flowers. So there's still more eggplant coming. My tomatoes are pretty much a disaster. I did come through here and prune them really hard because they have blooms on top and they have some tomatoes on top. So I just pruned out all excess so that what tomatoes are here could ripen. My cantaloupe row here was absolutely buried in grass. I weeded it, strawed it with spoiled hay. The weeds are struggling, but I found lots of green cantaloupes. I don't know if you can see those there. I've picked 2 ripe ones and they're really good, so I'm hoping that maybe these will ripen. And I don't know, maybe some of the plants will perk up, but if they don't, I'm not worried about it. I got my raspberries all weeded. I got the dead canes cut out from this year's harvest. So I was very glad for that. It always looks so much nicer. I've been able to mow and keep up with the grass over here. Here's my birdhouse gourds. They're still looking really good. And there's several outside the fence that are just growing in the grass. Oh, and a really pretty one. And I think you saw that one last time. It's got such a long neck, like it just stretched. Here's a pretty one. So I'll have a few birdhouse gourds. My loofahs down here on the end have still done nothing. I mean, they bloom, like there's a bloom trying to happen. There's a faded bloom, some little ants on there. But the deer come by on the outside and eat them. This one has a really pretty bloom. So they're blooming, but I have not seen any, unless that right there is a little tiny loofah. If that gets fertilized, maybe. Let's see, here's one. That's a little tiny loofah gourd right there. So the flower has to open and it has to get pollinated. If it doesn't get pollinated, it won't make anything. If I just get one gourd, that'd be awesome. So let's we'll just step outside this gate right here. Oh, my strawberry bed, I did scythe around it, and my plan is by next month to have a permanent bed around these with wire and a top so that I can keep the chickens out when they come over. And then the asparagus, it's time for it to start dying back, so looks pretty good. Sorry for all the spinning around. So here's my orchard. See, there's gourds all over here. Let me see if I can find some. Like there's one growing in the grass. Can you see that? It's pretty big. And there's another one. Thought I saw more than that. Anyway, there are gourds growing all in the grass over here. My bee yard, which is very small, only 2 hives, but they're doing pretty good. I got the orchard scythed and mulched around my trees. The elderberry that I planted earlier this year, and it was just a twig, is now about 3.5 feet tall. My apples and pears are looking really good. Some of my blueberries did okay. Like this one looks pretty nice for a first year blueberry, but some of them didn't do so great. The bees are very busy today. I see them flying in and out. Let me see if I can get a little closer without walking up there. Not sure what you can see, but they are going in and out, and their little pollen pockets are so full. I would like to walk up to the barn and show you my haystacks that I have scythed and dried and made hay, but I don't think that I'm going to do that today. All right, so the paddock next to us is the one, I can't remember, maybe last month we had gotten the chickens out of there, and I had scythed and maybe mowed it, but now it is tilled and planted and looking really good. Now this is millet. This came from the chickens being over here and just spreading their scratch grains to feed them. And obviously the millet was really, really happy here. And I don't know if you can tell, but this is the slope. We're going from uphill to downhill, and I don't ever till my slopes because I don't want to lose my soil. But I'm going to harvest the millet for chicken feed for the winter, bird feed. 3 rows of green beans. Those are looking marvelous. Those I'm growing for a friend. And then out here was all my extra plants that I didn't sell at market. Predominantly squash, zucchini. So look at there, baby squash. Over in the first paddock, every squash I planted died. And here they're looking so bright green. They've got fruit on them. I've already harvested a zucchini. This row right here is sweet potatoes, and they are growing well. I was gonna see if I could find a zucchini to show you because I'm just so happy. Oh, there's a beauty right there. They just look so healthy and good. I had 2 Roma tomatoes in big pots, and I decided to put those out here, and they're looking green and good. I picked a Roma. I see a bloom. Oh, there's a Roma. It looks nice. And because they were in pots, they were a little stunted, but there's some blooms, so they will produce. Oh, there's some more blooms. All right, and again, more squash, zucchini, cucumbers. And my cucumbers are doing really well, so I'm kind of hopeful. And then out here in this back part is watermelons and mini pumpkins, and the watermelons are short day, like 60 days to maturity. So I am really, really hopeful that I will get a watermelon harvest. They're looking super good, and this one has a bloom already. You see that right there? So pretty. And now up here around the fence, I have tilled once already and then covered it with straw. I'm going to plant sweet peas there, and all along this fence right here, same thing. And my marigolds and sunflowers are still going. They are fungusy, but the fungus has stopped spreading because it's gotten dry, and a few of the sunflowers did manage to bloom before they got eaten by deer, so I was really happy about that. Y'all, it is a beautiful, beautiful day. I hope the weather is nice wherever you are. So you can see my old paddock down there where the chickens are. My daughter has erected all of these tablecloths and tarps and flags. She made them a shady area to hang out. And one of the hens even likes to get in the pool and just lay in the pool. I have never seen a hen do that before, but if I catch it on video, I'll have to show you. But they like hanging out in the shade. They're pretty happy over here. Y'all like the cooler weather too, don't you? Only one of them is panting. That's one of our older birds. Here's their coop. So I won't go over there. So that's pretty much it for my garden. I think what I'll do now is go inside the house and show you a few things that I have gathered and prepared for going to market. As we're on the way, I just wanted to show you the zinnias. They're so pretty. I did get my asparagus transplanted into a barrel here. The zinnias are quite beautiful and attracting butterflies. And then in a barrel down here at this end, I have a horseradish growing. And then up back where we were just a few minutes ago, there's a blue barrel in the corner. Not sure if you can see it right there, but that is Jerusalem artichoke. Just got that transplanted a few days ago. These are our roosters in the broiler pen, and we have this live trap. We don't even put bait in it. The chickens are the bait, and we've caught 2 coons and 1 skunk because they go around in a circle to try to get into the chickens to kill them and eat them, and they just walk right into the trap and it closes. So that's been brilliant. All these roosters are scheduled for the chop very soon on a cool day when we can process them outdoors, and then what I'll do is I will can them. Kind of looking forward to it. So here's one of my morning glories that did bloom, and again I say it's afternoon, so the blooms are all faded. That's called a blue star because inside there is a blue star. That one is very wilty. Look, don't get me wrong, it's hot out here. It's 80 degrees Fahrenheit. I harvested my grapes and made juice. 3 quarts, not much, but better than nothing. And now we will go inside. So in my kitchen here is the dehydrator, and it is running presently. It has basil and oregano and a couple of flowers in there. I use it more in my messy, tiny kitchen. So in here is where I am loaded with some things for market. I sell these recycled feed sag totes at market. I've got cookies. I've got more cookies. Here's 1 thing of cherry tomatoes. I have cake in the outside refrigerator. Here is my sign. Grandiose heirlooms, produce, fresh cut herbs and flowers, dried herbs, lye soap, totes, snacks, plants. Go down the bottom of the stairs here, turn the light on. They just live here and I load them. This is my dried herbs where I keep them. They're packaged in these little small containers. Let's see, like this, about half an ounce. That's the buckshot peppers there. I've got oregano, pepper flakes, sage, parsley, and then here's my soap. I'll also sell a few little crochet items. I make these cute little hen pot holders. There's one. And just some little scrubbies or pot holders. So my soap this week is patchouli. Let's see. Lemongrass. Wish you could smell these. This is tea tree and lavender. And let me move these out of the way. I have an unscented coffee scrub. It's got ground coffee in it, and it's made with brewed coffee. It's unscented. It takes odors away. So I sell those at market. And, oh yeah, over here waiting to go is a couple of bouquets of fresh cut flowers. So pretty. And then my herbs, I got basil and dill, and there's some oregano. Oh yeah, around here is my seeds. I have this seed organizer. I save seeds, so I sell seeds front and back. My seeds are in here, and this thing is so heavy, but I take it to market every week and set it up. I actually do sell a few seeds, which is nice. And we'll go out the front door, prepare to be blinded. Ooh, sun's bright. So I take trays of plants still. I got some basil, sage, cilantro, mullein, and then some bigger plants. I sell those for a little bit more money. And out in our garage, in the outside refrigerator, is where I have my cake. I sell it by the slice. This time of year, when I don't have a lot of produce, I just make a lot of cookies and baked goods just to get me through the end of the market, because it's really important for me to be there every week. All right. Oh, we're getting raw milk now. Don't tell anybody. Yeah, it's illegal, you know. So there's my chocolate coffee cake. Oh, it's so yummy. So I've got about a dozen of those in there, ready to go in the cooler. And that is it, my friends. So while we're down here, I want to walk you down to the bottom of the driveway. We're up on a hill. It's pretty steep. Don't fall. And down at the bottom, there is this, I just call it a wishing well. I think it's a sinkhole, and the previous owner just built a well around it, probably to keep grandkids from falling into it. And built this little roof over it with a windlass to let a bucket up and down, because it's about 15 feet deep maybe. But we converted it into a farm stand. So you see I have my little pay box, some gourds, a little welcome to the farm stand, a place where I sell my soap. See, here's the windlass and the well. And I have a big old-timey wash tub that fits right in there, so then I can put ice and I can put produce. Got this hay bale here, straw bale, to keep people from stepping off the edge. And this morning glory I planted down here, and it actually bloomed yesterday. So you can hear the cicadas, so you know it's hot. But anyway, I wanted to show you the farm stand. My goal next year is not to do Saturday market at all, just Friday night, and then have my produce set up down here by the road. All right, let's go back to the barn. I've been shopping on Facebook Marketplace for woven wire fencing. So 2 of these I got for $60, and the really big one I got for $100. And then I've got another one up at my barn. So I actually have enough fencing now. I bought like $900 worth of fence for $260. So that's for my goats and my cow next year. So I am pretty doggone excited about that. Just wanted to show you. Okay, here we are. You've had the tour. I think what I will do is, since I won't be able to edit the video until late tonight, I'll take some snapshots at Farmer's Market of how I have my table displayed, and I will put them here at the end for your enjoyment. And I look forward to seeing you next time.